Hello, Malik Carrington here, Family Budget Fisherman. Thank you for tuning in to another special episode on this channel. Yes, you read it in the thumbnail and in the description below. I am actually going to eat my words regarding the NRX Plus. What a beautiful rod. Let's get started. Hello, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. As I mentioned in the intro, this rod right here, I didn't want originally, and I had mentioned to you all up to a year after I had, the rod had been out, that I was not interested in purchasing this rod. And it was because I had a lot of rods that I think performed close enough to this rod where I didn't need it. And I'm not a big guy when it comes to hype. You know, when there's so much hype placed on anything, I don't tend to move in that direction. But I have to say, after having this rod for almost a year, remember, I only paid, my out-of-pocket expense was only $375. And you all should know basically how I make purchases. Take my time. I set aside a little bit each month or each period until I accumulate enough of what I need in order to make a larger purchase. And there takes some discipline in doing that. I mean, we're not a rich family, but that's how I was able to get it. Combine that with some rewards cards and gifts on special days and so forth. And I was able to make this purchase. So this is the NRX Plus 902S SJR. That's the model number that this is. This is a 7-foot 6-inch fast medium, and the lure rating is 1/8 on the low end and 3/8 on the high end. And the recommended line line test is a 6-pound test on the low end and 12-pound test on the high end. Of course, this is the Loomis NRX Plus. And I have to say, after throwing it now for about a year, I don't know, I've caught 500 or 600 fish on it because I use it a lot. I mean, yesterday, I think we caught, yesterday from the time this video, it might be a day or two later, but in the previous days, I probably caught maybe, I don't know, 20, 25 fish with it already. So, I mean, just in the last few days. And I am thoroughly impressed with the rod. First of all, I'm impressed with how light this rod is. This rod is only 3.3 ounces, which is a full ounce, or 3.4 ounces, which is a full ounce less than the newest model available to us from the Japanese domestic market, the Shimano Poison Ultima. Is 1 ounce less than that. I think the Shimano Poison Ultima is 3.5 ounces. It's incredibly light. It's everything that you want in a rod, whatever it is that you want it to do. This rod can do for the finesse and power finesse end of fishing. And you all know that's pretty much where I am. I'm on the finesse and power finesse end of fishing. I do power fish, but my sweet spot is here. As you can see, I got it loaded up with, this is a bait finesse rig. It's a, what is it, a 3-inch paddle tail swim bait. But of course, now this is me personally, and I might be starting something with you BFS persons. I can do a better job with it on a spinning rod than you can on your BFS. Woo woo. I have it paired with a Shimano Vanford. Now I know, and this is the C3000XG. I know there are a number of you who would put a more expensive rod on this, reel rather, on this rod, but I didn't. I based it on what I can afford and what I made the purchase for. For me, the purchase was $375, and then I put a $250 reel on there. I'm not going to spend $700 or $800 on a reel for this rod, even though this rod Full retail is $625. I get it. I truly get it. But just know that I have had an amazing amount of fun on the water with this rod in particular. The line that I have on here is 8-pound test fluoro clear. And I think I mentioned to you all, for my higher end rod, my highest end rods, I'm sticking to the fluorocarbons and fluoro clears, and I may even do some mono. I'm almost never going to put any braid on them, and that's just a personal preference. I'm not a tournament fisherman, tournament angler. I don't need to have that kind of cutting edge on my rods and reels, and I know there's some science into the amount of stretch that people have and so on and so forth. I'm okay with more stretch because I'm a multi-species fisherman. So for me, I got this fly down on my leg, it's messing with my leg. So for me, the having flexibility, being able to cast something that is subsurface versus on the ground, you know, and that works for me. No, I'm not going to be doing top water, but none of my finesse techniques are top water techniques when it comes to this. Even if I threw a popper on there, I would not use NRX Plus, Legend Extreme, or in this case now the Poison Ultima. I would use my Poison Adrena for top water, and I did do that. As a matter of fact, I had so much fun with that. I was throwing, I threw a frog with it, and then I went through a popper with it. Then I took all that off, and I went on and threw a chatterbait with it, and that Poison Adrena did it for me. But it's a medium heavy. It's a 6'11" medium heavy, and maybe I need to do a review on that as well. But that's the reason, as I digress, of course. But that's the reason why I chose the way I rigged this rod the way that I did, and I have had an immense amount of fun. My personal best on this rod is about 3.5 pounds. I haven't got any big, massive fish on here. Matter of fact, my Redding personal best is 4.5 pounds, and I caught that on a different rod altogether. So, and I did that in the middle of the review, and some of you on Instagram should know, you should see it and know. So anyway, as I keep bending down, I'm sorry, I don't have a fan under me right now to deal with these flies. So at any rate, I caught, you know, a lot of fish on this, and I've taken it all over Northern California, the Delta, Clear Lake, some of my old sloughs and canals, and I've even fished Shasta Lake, and then we went up further north to a place called Baum Lake. That's B-A-U-M, Baum Lake, up in a place called Bernie, California, and it is postcard perfect. I mean, it's beautiful up there. So at any rate, I would recommend, if any of you are in the market and you're looking for a high-end rod and you think you can get a deal, there are deals that can be had on the brand new ones. You got to look for them. I've seen them in some cases 20% off. I've seen them in other cases for 15% off. You know, you just kind of have to look, be in the market for them. Take your time, and while you're taking your time, go ahead and slide $50 to the side or $75 to the side for a whole month. You know, you can save $1 and plus a day. Most of us can. You know, take 50 bucks. You know, take some of your Starbucks money, set it to the side, you know, each month, and you'll get there. You know, don't go to the bait and tackle store as often. Maybe do 1 or 2 less trips. You can get here. And that goes for all the high-end equipment. You can buy this stuff if you discipline yourself. You don't have to impulse buy. And that's the reason why this stuff seems too expensive for most people, because they impulse buy. You know, as soon as it's made available and you see that price tag, $625, you go, oh my God, I can't afford it. Well, Loomis wants to sell these all year long. They want to sell them over several years. They're not going to be out of stock for very long and have you go to somewhere else. So I'm saying to you, you can afford it. Having said all that, just look around. Again, this is worth it. I would say pass up several rods. If you're looking for this, pass up several other rods. to get to this level. The sensitivity is amazing. Bottom contact fishing, you name it. Like I said, when you're throwing small, this happens to be a 1/16 ounce, so it's a little below the rating. But I was throwing that crappie and catching them. I think I was catching them at 2.5 pounds. I think maybe one or two of them hit 3 pounds, but that's what I was throwing. I was throwing Ned rigs. I caught fish off of Ned rigs. I caught fish off of curly tails. I threw some 1/4 ounce crawl baits and got fish there. I threw some Berkeley hand pour worms. You know, I've thrown all kinds of bait on here. You know, maybe 10 or 15 different styles of baits, and all of them were successful. I can't really think of a bait, given the way I fish, that I tried and I didn't catch something. I didn't always catch what I wanted, but I caught something. Even, if I'm going for, bass and I catch bluegill, I caught something. I think I even caught a small carp once on it, and I really wasn't in the market for carp. Now, I know that there are some of you who love carp and love catching carp. I just wasn't there mentally to catch a carp, but the fight was beautiful. Trust me when I tell you, the fight was beautiful. It was only about 2 pounds, but the fight was beautiful. So I say all that again to say, if you are in the market for one of these beautiful rods, you can do it. I mean, it had everything worked out well. All of the guides are in the right place. It converts to recoil from the SICs. I mean, the rod performed stellarly. And if I weren't already invested in the Ultimate series, I would get another one of these. I certainly would, or maybe another model, but definitely I would stay right in this area. I happen to like the 7'6", the longer rods, because if I want to do things that are more crappie related, or if I want to throw floating flies for bass, even though the original floating fly is a crappie technique, not a bass technique. Some of the newer baits that are coming out I want to be able to pit and flip more easily, and with a longer rod you can get a better cast out there. And I'm one of those who likes to let the rod do the work. So that's the main reason why. Everything, like I said, is in its place. It is worth your time and attention. I would say get this rod. If you're in the market for it, get it. And don't worry, the Shimano Vanford kept the pace with this rod. There are some more expensive reels between this and the Stella that you can get, and you may enjoy that reel as well. I'm telling you though that the Vanford held its own as a companion to this beautiful rod, and I welcome any of your comments regarding this rod. So with that, I say, don't break your family's budget trying to buy, especially impulse buy, this rod, this combo in total, or any other item in fishing. But by every ethical and legal means, get out there and break your personal best. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and be blessed.